days? In April. Let's round up. Approaching 40. First time I met Bill, we had just bought the business, and it was in January of 1988. And for the next 5 months, it was just a lot of firefighting at that time in terms of getting the company under our belt. There were all sorts of legal issues. We had the Omaha branch sprung loose and jumped on us, and the Minneapolis branch, Kansas City branch, en masse to the competition. It was a crazy first 5 months just in terms of all the things we were getting started with. And so a lot of my time was taken up with legal matters and transactional matters. And so after that kind of settled down, it was around June of 1988, 24 and a half years ago, it was time to start learning a little bit about the business. And at that time, there was a clear choice of where to go to learn the business, and that was to the Dallas branch. The Dallas branch was absolutely, and it still is, a terrific branch in the organization. It was the flagship of its day, and it had the greatest talent, in terms of longevity and experience and breadth of knowledge of product. And if I wanted to learn the business, it was to go to Dallas. So I went to Dallas, and it was there that Bill Utensky was there, and of course Tom Woolbridge was there, and some other folks there to teach me the business. I can only imagine what their impression was of a 27-year-old guy coming down, or who had been a lawyer for a couple of years. Geez, what a mess. Was going to come here and sell packaging. But they were patient with me, and Bill in particular. I remember going on joint sales calls with him, asking just about every dumb question I could think of, and he was very, very patient with me. For those of you who know Bill, what distinguishes Bill from most others is that though soft-spoken, he's got a competitive fire that burns constantly and intensely. He's got one of the warmest hearts of any person I've ever known. He loves his family, and he loves his horses, and he's quite the equestrian. I remember one year he came on the chairman's trip, I think it was in Turks and Caicos. I think it was in Turks and Caicos. I think it was at that time that I first learned that he first learned to sell by selling, I think it was bras and panties, wasn't it? Was that your first sales job with Playtex?
It wasn't the first, but...
It was the most memorable. It's better than business forms, I guess. Those guys are selling a lot of business forms these days, I bet. Huh? Yeah. But, no, a varied career, but Bill has had a magnificent career at Berlin. For any work that we've ever done with Mary Kay Cosmetics, it was Bill Utensky. Whether it was beauty control, it was Bill Utensky. Even Aloe Vera of America, one of our largest accounts in the company, the praises that they sing of Bill and the stories that are told about Bill are legion, and has brought literally tens of millions of dollars to the company over the years, and has been an extraordinary employee of Berlin Packaging. And so in my formative time, I have a very, very warm spot in my heart for Bill, and we're going to miss him. I know that there are probably some terrific stories that can be told about Bill, of those who actually work with him day to day. And I'm looking over at Tom Woolbridge right now. Roger Gregory was going to come up and say a few remarks, and I said, Roger, I hope you don't mind if I'd like to step in on this one, because this was my first teacher and mentor that was retiring. But Tom, do you want to come up and just tell one anecdote about poor Bill? Because giving the microphone to Tom is dangerous, I know. You can even tell by the way he's walking up there. Well, Bill, I'd like you to come up here while we
Usually when you want stories, you want something funny. If it's funny, it means it's a little pointed story that maybe Bill may not want to remember. But But I think this one shows Bill's demeanor, and if this is a word, unflappableness. At one time in the Dallas district, we had offices, and ACs had an office and everything. And some of the ACs, one of the ACs had a bookshelf and had plants on it and everything. And we were having a discussion in there one time, and it built like normal. He was kind of standing back out of the way, and leaned up against the bookshelf. We had our discussion, everything was fine. And it was time to leave the office. And as he walked out, I noticed that he had a cactus hanging on his ass. So, in all honesty, that really sums up Bill. Nothing bothers him. He's just as smooth as a deep running river. And I knew, in fact, Bill was a salesman when I was a buyer for a customer of like his competitor. So I've known Bill for a long time, and I'm going to miss him hard both.
Thanks. I'm a person of few words, but I knew when I took Andrew around that first time that he had a future in this company. It would be a bittersweet situation for me leaving because although I'll be off the payroll, I don't think I'll be off the Berlin family. Thank you.